Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. For those of you that haven't subscribed yet, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. Today we are back in our future garden. Now future garden because we still have a lot to do with it. But in the last video that we did, I had a lot of questions about this thing right here. And that's our future greenhouse, high tunnel, hoop house. What's the difference? The questions were, are we going to go with the greenhouse or a high tunnel? And I thought they were the same thing. But apparently not. I guess they're actually quite a bit different. See, they're used for two totally different things. You see a high tunnel, and that's a structure similar to this with plastic over it. And that, after actually quite a bit of research, going on Google, clicking on different things, that is mainly used just for season extension. As opposed to a greenhouse is used so you can grow things all year long. So a high tunnel and a greenhouse might have the same kind of characteristics and almost look the same, but they're actually pretty different. You see, with the high tunnel, what the plastic basically does is raise your growing zone up 1 or 2. So that means that you can grow things a little bit longer. Why? Because with the plastic there, it'll hold in a little bit more heat, but what you're gonna grow in a high tunnel in the wintertime is cold hardy crops. You're not gonna grow tomatoes or bell peppers or green beans, any of those warm loving crops in a high tunnel. Why? Because what the main difference is between a high tunnel and a greenhouse, and it's really only one thing, and that's heat. What defines a greenhouse is that there's some sort of manufactured heat, whether that be electricity, geothermal, wood burning, whatever. There's just some sort of heat to keep the temperatures up. That way you can grow tomatoes, bell peppers, green beans, stuff that likes the warmer weather. With the high tunnel, it's just meant for cold hardy crops and be able to have them extend a little bit farther and protect them from the frost. So going forward, which one are we gonna choose? Are we gonna choose a high tunnel or a greenhouse? And to answer your question, it's gonna be a high tunnel. Why? Okay, well, battery died. And the main reason we're going with the high tunnel, because the focus here on the farm is animals. This garden here, mainly just for us. I'm not looking to sell tomatoes or green beans or, you know, squash or whatever. It's just not something that I necessarily want to do, not what I'm passionate about. But in the wintertime, this is where the chickens are actually going to go. Joel Salatin style winter shelter for the chickens, to where we'll put deep bedding in here, let the chickens be in here. That way they're just easier in the wintertime. They can stay warmer and just easier on us, and just easier all around for us and the chickens. So that's what this is going to turn into eventually. Now I say that we're not going to sell okra and stuff like that now. Now could we do that? Yeah, absolutely, because what we could do is we could even sell the starts of the plants, or we could sell the vegetables. Don't necessarily want to do that. Why? Because I just think it's a lot of work. And if you look at where the American food dollar is spent, 50% of it is on animal proteins, eggs, meats, milks, whatnot, okay? 25% is on dry goods and grain, and the last 25% spent on produce and vegetables and stuff. So here we want to capture as much of that dollar as possible, so that's why we're focusing more on the meat. Now, can you make money doing a vegetable operation? Absolutely. Why? Because there's tons and tons of people doing it, just not something I want to do for me. Why? With especially like annual vegetables, I see it as you're trading your time for money, and that's just not something I want to do. With the cows out here, guess what? That is a continuous source of income. Why? Because the cows are gonna just do their thing. All we have to do is move them. I feel like it's a much more efficient way of making money. You have to plant the seed, make it grow, water it every day. Then the harvesting part, I feel like, is the most time consuming actually. And it's just not something that I want to do. Because with vegetables, you have only a certain time frame to make money with them. Now, if you have different crops, you know, rotating them throughout the season and growing with the seasons, sure, you can keep bringing in money, but it's just, there's so many variables with it, and I feel like the continuous harvesting, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time on your back, that's a lot of time on your knees trying to go and do stuff. It's just not something I want to do. Now, even if you're gonna go try and sell like the vegetable starts, that's a decent way to make money, but still, trading your time for money. Why? Because after a certain point, guess what? They're either gonna die or you're gonna have to put them in the ground. Why? Because they're gonna outgrow the container. So you still only have a certain amount of time to sell them. Can you still make money with it? Yes. Is it the way that I like to make money? No. Now, will we ever sell vegetables here? I would never say never. Because, you know what, if we have these high tunnels, we get a bunch of them. If our operation expands and we have more and more chickens, guess what, we're gonna need more and more high tunnels for the winter time. Now, there's an opportunity there. If that is someone's passion and that's what they're good at, we can find someone around here that wants to do that, that maybe just doesn't have the land to do it, doesn't have the space to do it, doesn't have the resources to do it. If we have all the resources here, what we can do is, this is the most important thing, is to be able to help other people realize their skills and talents. So if there's someone out here that's a master gardener that just is looking for a spot, like I said, doesn't have the resources, when the chickens are out of here and we're growing enough for just us to eat, just for us to have, because I just like growing their own food, and you know, I like to have a small garden because I've done it a little bit and pretty successful with it. Just not something I want to do for money. But what we can do is we can help somebody else realize their talents with it. Then we can work on some sort of partnership basis to where, hey, they get to grow all they want in here in the spring and summertime. We work out some sort of commission or royalty or whatever because it's our land and our stuff. Guess what? Everybody wins. Now the last thing we might do with the high tunnel is in the wintertime or in the springtime, there might be other possibilities for what I want to do. I don't want to grow vegetables in here, but I will grow these things right here. Can you tell what that is? That's yes, I'm gonna say it wrong to somebody out there. I call it a pecan. That's what I call it. I know pecan. If they wanted to name it pecan, they would have spelled it P-U-H-C-A-N. I call it pecan. We have a bunch of these trees around the property that's producing a ton of nuts for us. I think we have 15 of them, all different varieties, which is pretty cool. That's actually one of the things that kind of attracted us to the property, is just, you know, we have, you know, food producing trees already on the property. And this is what I've gathered up this morning just with the little rolly thing that you get from Lowe's. It's about a half a 5-gallon bucket worth of pecans. Now pecans, walnuts, different fruits and different fruit trees and nut trees, that's different. That intrigues me. Why? Because this nut right here, if we were to grow it out, this is worth $3 in our area. This right here, another $3. This right here, another $3. So that's $9 in potential in just 3 nuts. And that's if we can get it up to 6 to 12 inches tall. Now these are a potential $3. Now, so what's the difference between this and the vegetable? Well, this here, there's no time frame on when we need to sell it. Now, if we don't sell all the pecan sprouts in the first year, guess what? These will live a second, third, fourth, fifth year, and every year that they're around, they just go up in value. Now, will we still have to plant them and water them and everything? Yeah, but are they as hands-on as a vegetable? I don't think so, not from what I've been reading. So this here, this stuff right here intrigues me because it's more of a permaculture style food, to where, you know what, hey, we don't have to replant it every year. Why? 3 to 5 years, it'll start maybe producing nuts for us, and in 50 years, guess what? There's gonna be a ton of them, and that's what the other trees that we have around here are doing. So we got a little bit off topic there, but that's why we're turning this into a high tunnel instead of a greenhouse, because we don't really need to grow things in the winter, and this is really where our future chickens are gonna live in the wintertime. So there's really no point in us taking the time and money in order to heat this thing. So if you're one of those people like me that was wondering what's the difference between a high tunnel and a greenhouse, hopefully this answers the question. And the main difference is just heat, and that they're used for different things because of the heat. A high tunnel is used as a season extender, a greenhouse is used to grow year round. So if you want to see what this ends up looking like and what we're going to use it for in the future, consider hitting that subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell so you get notified when we put up new videos, hit the like button because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and drop a comment if you like, alright? Until next time, see ya.